What's the number one advice you get from editors and agents about writing? It's probably write what you love, right? Have you heard that? I used to hear that all the time. Every conference I went to, every time that I heard an editor or an agent speak is write the story of your heart, write what's in your heart, write what you love. I was frustrated because I didn't understand what that meant. Well, I think now after all these years of writing, I actually finally do understand what it means to write what you love, and that's what I'm going to talk about today.
You have a story to tell, but you don't know where to start. Let me show you how to free your story. I teach you how to write and how to dig deep in your soul to release your story and make a difference in the world.
Welcome to the Julia Monte channel. If we're just meeting, I am Julia Monte. I'm a women's fiction author and I make videos to help you write better, to think about writing, to motivate you to write what is in your heart, which is what we're going to be talking about today, which is writing the novel or the story of your heart. Okay, so I'm going to take a step back though. Okay, we're going to talk about branding for a second. Author branding, your author brand. What does that mean and why is it important to writing the story of your heart? Okay, when we think of an author brand or when we think of authors, right, we know that they are different by how they brand themselves or who they are, right? So if I pick up a Margaret Atwood novel, I know what type of story I'm going to get. I know it's going to be sort of deep and it's going to make me think, might be a little bizarre, right? So those are her types of stories, the types of stories she writes, and that's her brand. Where if I, read a Meg Cabot book, right, it's going to be lighter, there's going to be some romance, it's going to be a very different style of book, different themes, different ideas, different feel because they're so different. Their brands are so different. So where do our brands come from? How do we know that these two authors are different, and how do they know, right, that what's okay to write in my brand, what's not okay to write in my brand? Well, what a brand really is that the writer is writing about something that is important to that writer. Okay, so it matters to the writer what it is that they're writing about. It's something that is important to them. It's an important belief, it's an important value, or it's an important interest. It's something that the author comes back to again and again and again. So story after story, right? Novel after novel, year after year, you start to see a pattern that this writer is always writing about this theme. The writer is always including a certain locale or location, right? The author is always has this type of character. There's always this type of lesson. Okay, it's repeated. It's not identical because then why would they write the same book over and over again? But in a sense, they are writing the same book over and over again because the same things are coming in, right? The same ideas, the same beliefs, the same values, all of that is coming into their stories each time with each book. And it's creating a brand that allows the author to reveal herself, right, to the readers. So little by little, the readers start to know, they might not know personally what the author believes or what their values are, but if there's an author who's always writing about justice, right, and that justice always prevails, well, then you kind of, I guess, can guess that this is something important to the author. This is why the author keeps writing about this same theme and this same idea. If an author, and it doesn't have to be always something huge, right? Maybe it's just a quirky author who writes kind of funny things and weird things always seem to happen to her in life, right? Well, then what might the author believe there? What might be some of the value? Maybe the author's just a very lighthearted person, believes that life is just kind of a fun, quirky, unexplained play, unexpected things happen in life. And that's what happens to the character, and that's what she believes. So we create our brand by the things that that we believe in, that we love to write about, that we live on a daily basis. So going back to write the story of your heart or write the story that you love. What I thought long ago that industry professionals meant when they said that was that I should just write a story that I love, right? That I love the story, and so I should write the story. And maybe that is what they meant. But now, to me, it means something different. What it means is write a story that matters to you, okay? It's not just write a story that you like. I want to write a book about, I don't know, dogs. I want to write about whatever. It's not just that. It's why do I want to write that? Why does this matter to me? Why is this important to me? Why is this in my heart? So think of your story as if it's a delicious candy bar, okay? It's this amazing candy bar that you like. So it's made out of the same ingredients. It's all the same, right? So I like those Milky Way candy bars, right? It's got caramel, it's got the creamy nougat stuff, it's got chocolate, it's got all these amazing things. Well, a few years ago, well, probably a long time ago now, but the Mars company decided to have different types of Milky Ways, right? We're going to have the dark chocolate one, and I think the dark chocolate one adds marshmallow to it. I don't know. I'm sure I've tried them all, but they had different kinds. So is it the same thing? Yes, right? Because it's made out of the same stuff. Even if we go a little deeper, they're all made out of sugar. They'll have the same ingredients, but the wrapper on the outside looks different. It's a different candy bar, right? It's a different candy bar because if you don't like marshmallow, you don't like dark chocolate, you're not going to like that version of the Milky Way. You're going to like the original, okay? So so hopefully that makes sense, that it's not that you are the same person. You are adding those same ingredients that matter to you into each story, but you're delivering a new story that has a new wrapper. It has a different way of showing up in the world, but it's still that book about justice, right? It's still that quirky thing that life is wild and you never know what to expect. It's still that same idea, but it's a different story. Okay, it's a different wrapper, it's a different candy bar, but it has the same ingredients. So by writing what you love, you're always going to write a great, powerful story, so that when an editor, an agent picks up your story and they say, oh, this must be the story of your heart, then you can say, yes, it is. And the next one will be too, because it's going to matter to me. It has things that matter to me. Okay, so then the question, I guess, is going to be like, well, can I write the book of my heart, what I really love, and still write for the market? Or if I'm writing the book of my heart and the thing that's important to me, that matters to me, is it really going to matter out in the real world? Well, I don't believe in writing for the market. I don't think that you should write just what's out there, because there's just a lot of problems with that. I've made videos and I've written blogs about that, so you can go back and look at that. But I think that it's just a problem because the market is constantly changing and never stays the same. If you're chasing the market and you're thinking you're going to write this because it's popular right now, you're going to be disappointed, because by the time you write your book and you get it out there, things could have changed. And it doesn't have to be very long. It could be like next month, right? All of a sudden, they're not buying that anymore. People are not interested in that anymore. And all of a sudden, you've got a book that is for last year's or last month's market. So, and then what, right? And it's probably not going to be very good, because it wasn't something that you really loved and that you had passion for. It was just something that you wrote because you wanted to get something written or published, or, to appeal to the masses. And that's not a good thing to do for books and for life, right? You want to be true to what you like, what your passion is, what you believe in. Okay. However, that doesn't mean that you shouldn't be aware of what readers want, because that's important to us, right? So it's important to understand our reader, that we are writing for our readers. This is another thing that I've mentioned before, is you're not really writing for yourself as much as you want to write things that matter to you. You're not writing for yourself. You're writing for a reader. So you want to be aware of the interest. You want to understand what is happening in the industry. You want to know where your readers are going. Now, it might just be that you find out that your readers are probably not going to be interested in what you're writing today. That's okay, because again, it's not going to stay this way for long. It's going to change, and readers are going to want something different. So understand what the market is doing, understand what readers want, write what's important to you, and it doesn't mean that actually you can't write what's important to you, but put it into a package, right, that readers will accept and want. You can do that. You can still write about the quirky heroine, even if quirky heroines aren't selling very well, because you can package it a little differently. You could still have her and her personality, but the story can be maybe a little deeper in certain areas, or it can meet what readers are looking for at the time. Okay, hopefully that makes sense. So what you want to do is you want to write about what you're passionate about, because that's what keeps you writing, right? So if you include your passions and your creativity and all of the things that make you want to write, but you also keep in mind what it is that readers are looking for, what they want. For example, let's just say that you're not, you don't really care for, I don't know, let's say big city romances. You like, you prefer the small town, right? Can you still write passionately your story to include all the elements that are important to you, but maybe change the setting a little bit? Okay. I know for a while there were like, billionaire heroes were popular in romance. And, it's like, if that's not your thing, then, maybe how can you tweak that a little bit that still captures the interest if you wanted to, right? If you didn't want to, then you would. Like, I don't know that I would do that. I honestly don't know, because I never thought about it, but, but maybe, right? Maybe I'd be willing to make my hero a billionaire if I thought that's what the readers wanted to read, and it actually fit my story, and everything else in the story followed things that mattered to me, things that I was passionate about writing. So it's something, again, that you just have to look at and say, well, will that work? Can I do this? Can I change this in certain ways to capture what readers seem to want, but also still stay true to my brand? Because this is important, because I'm trying to build my brand, and I want to be me, and I want to be passionate about my writing, and I want to be creative, and I want to love what I'm doing, because if I do, I'm going to write a better book. Okay, so it's a lot, right? We have so many things we have to accomplish as writers, but we can do it. We can do both. We can do the branding of ourselves. We can write the book that we love. We can still package it in a way that readers will be attracted to the book and hopefully be successful. So your best plan, your best bet is to be aware of what the market is doing. Understand your genre very well. Understand, if you're a fantasy writer, understand fantasy, understand mystery, understand horror, understand what it is that you write very well and what those readers want. And then write the book that you love within that genre, within that package. Okay, I hope this helps, and I hope it didn't confuse you. If you liked this video, please like it. Please actually hit the like button, and please share it, and tell friends to come and see me on Fridays. And I hope to see you again next Friday.